everyone, and welcome to the show. It's Local Chat, episode 228. That's the number. We're here to talk about video games and all sorts of things. I'm your host, Will Crosby. Joining me this week is a man who wears a hat. Sometimes. It's Ian Gibson.
Yes, that's right. I wear many hats. I do many things around here.
And someone who is wearing a blanket, Jake Terrio.
Yeah, I'm cozy. Staying cozy in our little cozy podcast.
I keep forgetting it's cold for you guys. It's in the 70s here.
It wasn't bad today.
I'm preparing because apparently Monday here in Jacksonville, Florida, it's supposed to be in the 40s, and then I think getting to the 50s throughout the day, which is too early for it to be that cold. But you know what's great? This is not a tangent going into the bathroom remodel, but I have been putting off attic work for the bathroom remodel because it was too hot. And, you know, attics are basically like take the outside temperature and add 30 degrees to it, especially as you get later in the day. So I am super excited for Monday getting in that attic because it's going to be like 50 out and it's going to be like perfect 70 in that attic. It's going to be great.
80.
Yeah, that's right.
You literally just gave us the equation and then you did it wrong.
My office is the coldest room in the house, so I have to.
You really have to bundle up?
Oh yeah, because you're in the basement, right?
I'm in the basement. Yeah.
It was actually quite cold in here today.
Basement apartment in Baltimore. I would run the heat. I wouldn't run the heat all the time, but one time I tried to heat that apartment like above 68 and it would not go above 68. It was like a 60-year-old building basement apartment of like a 4-floor apartment complex, and you just could not get it higher than 68.
I learned recently because my parents also live in Florida, and I learned recently what they pay in the summer for their air conditioning bill.
Yeah,
their house is probably like 50% bigger than yours, Ian. So I don't know how these numbers will compare to you, but my dad told me like in the heat of the summer, it's $400 a month to cool that house.
But the big question is, how old is that house? Because that's
new. Within 10 years.
Okay, yeah. See, they're getting fucked because the reason why I say that is because my parents and my sister, they both have a new house. Actually, I think their house is like 5 or 6 years old now. And their house is basically the same size as my house, but their electricity bill is pretty much $100 cheaper than mine because new building codes plus new building materials. It's you can make houses super efficient now, which means they're not going to trap heat and they're much easier to cool, etc. So mine in the summer is like $250. But to be fair, my bill is electricity plus water, and I have known for at least a year now that my faucet has a drip once per minute leak, my kitchen faucet, and I've just been too lazy to fix it. So I wonder how much of that water bill is just the drip and how much of it would go away if I actually fixed that drip.
Gotta find out.
Yeah, which is not to fix it.
For me, it's heat. Heat's really expensive for us because it's gas. And for some reason, they fuck you in the ass for gas delivery fee is like $150 tacked on to what you're doing for some reason.
What is that, just infrastructure?
Yeah,
or do you have a tank?
That's crazy.
It's the PSE&G charges the delivery of the gas as a separate fee, which is often more money than how much gas I used.
Well, no, I just mean, do you have a tank, or is it just city infrastructure that you get in the gas from?
I don't know. There's like a gas meter out front, so I assume it's city infrastructure.
That's not, yeah. So it's probably, I mean, that is a lot, but yeah, that's probably city infrastructure.
I mean, it's not usually that. It's not always that crazy. Just in the middle of last winter, it was. But like September was great because we didn't turn the heat on yet, and we weren't using ACs anymore. So I think everything was like $70 for the entire house. And then even in the summer, AC, the highest we hit, I think, was like $130 for a summer month. But yeah, it's the winter months thing that get you. So
we're like are you like holding the monthly fee from People's Gas is like $30? That's crazy.
Yeah, here I think it's like variable, and then sometimes they do that bullshit thing where they're like, we didn't actually come out and read your meter, but we're gonna guess what it is, and then like a couple months later they're like, hey, we guessed wrong. And I want to be like, well, that's your fucking fault. What are you talking about?
That's so weird because our water meters down here, and this is not a new thing, this has been around for a while, they're wireless water meters. So I don't know if they have to drive by to pick up the connection or if it's going to a tower somewhere, but they don't check meters anymore down here. It gets fed into the system.
I think it might have only been my Jersey City apartment that they definitely checked meters there, because I remember getting those bills. Mm-hmm. But in Clifton and here, I don't quite remember if any of the bills ever were like guesswork. I only noticed the one time in Jersey City because they were like, hey, you owe like $600. And I wanted to be geez. Excuse me? It's like, oh, it's because we're guesstimating. And I'm like, I think it was during COVID. And I was like, excuse me? What do you mean?
That's
$600. That's like 5 times the amount of electricity we use in this 1-bedroom apartment. Yeah, wild time. Folks, thank you for tuning into our chit chat section. That was, folks, I hate to say it, that was improv. That is the hard. Yes, and we didn't have a single fucking thing written down, and we came up with what? ACs, heat. God, we're small talk kings. Speaking of kings, we've been playing video games. That's cool.
Is this a pivot to talking about New Vegas?
Yeah, what is this segment about again?
The Kings. We're talking about the Sacramento Kings.
Correct. Hockey team.
Yeah, that's correct.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not. Isn't there another King? Is that who I was thinking of? I almost said St. Louis, but I went Sacramento.
It's the Saints, and that's a football team. I don't know what the...
Nope, that's not right.
Let's just start spreading misinformation.
Isn't it not the Pittsburgh Pirates anymore? Isn't it like the San Diego Pirates or something now? Or Las Vegas Pirates?
It's the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates.
The Pittsburgh Chargers.
The San Diego Padres moved up and became I forget what they're called, like the LA
Padres. Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Didn't Las Vegas buy a team and then changed its name to Las Vegas something? I thought that was the Pirates.
Yes.
Raiders.
The Washington Wizards.
No, it's not the Pirates. It's I believe it's the Raiders, yes.
They used to be the Oakland Raiders, and now they're the St. Louis.
And the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's. I literally, this was on a podcast today, but I don't, okay, sorry. I'm checking it. Okay. The Oakland A's are currently in Sacramento, but they are planned to move to Las Vegas once the stadium's built.
So it'll be Las Vegas V's.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy though? The Oakland Raiders and the Oakland Athletics separately both moved to Vegas. Isn't that... I'm gonna
I love Subpixel Sports Talk. It's where I come to for the latest sports news. This just in,
that's correct.
Dodgers won the World Series.
The Raiders
the LA Dodgers
to Vegas. Yes, the Dodgers.
They were up against the Toronto Blue Jays, right?
That's correct.
Why were we playing Toronto? They're not from here.
Yeah, they're from Canada.
Are they in the MLB?
They love Ronald Reagan up there. I heard.
Teams.
Playing Canada, him on a commercial. I love Ronald Reagan.
You know what makes me upset though is that there used to be a Canadian MLB team called the Montreal Expos, and I need you guys to look up to Google live right now the Montreal Expos logo because it's so fucking good. Montreal Expos.
Montreal logo. Expos.
Just look at that logo. It's it's a good logo.
Is that two penises touching each other?
No, it's just like an M, and then there's an E, and there's a B for baseball. But
is that what it's for?
That's the thing is that it's kind of bad because you can't tell what it is, but at the same time, it's so cool looking that like old Expos merch is crazy expensive on eBay. Like it's the most loved dead team.
It's almost like if Chicago had a team called the World's Fair.
Yeah,
that's
true. Great.
I thought you meant expo. I thought you were saying expos, like they were exposing themselves, and I thought it was going to be like a trench coat or something. It looks like two penises rubbing next to each other.
Sometimes I wish I was more into sports and specific sports teams, because I do think it's fun to like follow a team's merch and be like, I got the new hat. Check out this cool logo. You know, like the Baltimore Orioles used to have some cool gear and stuff, and they changed their logo to be like more of like a cartoony bird, which was pretty good.
I saw an Oriole in my backyard the other day.
Ooh, I love Oreos.
Wow.
They had the orange ones for Halloween. They're very good.
This podcast is not working. Should we just call it here?
Yeah, we've been all.
We're like,
what
we're
else should
also
we talk
eager
about?
to talk about absolutely fucking nothing.
What else should we? What's something else
got
we're
some other
versed in?
bullshit I could bring up.
No,
we haven't mentioned World War II yet. Should we? Or
I really want to talk about women's rights.
So when I was down in Florida, I got this at a secondhand store.
Whoa!
It's a big book about the Nuremberg trials.
Hell
have
yeah!
Have you seen the trailer for the Nuremberg movie? Because it looks bad. It doesn't look like it's going to be good.
The only reason I bought it is because the author was served at Nuremberg as the staff on staff for the U.S. Chief of Counsel. So
That's
it's
good.
like first person.
That's good. Hell yeah. Kingdom of the Sea? Kingdom Under the Sea? Is that the prequel to? Is that a Christian version of Finding? Will, can you please explain what you're holding?
This is one of the tapes from Sevilla, but it is Return of the King, which.
Are you sure this is not a Christian Finding Nemo?
It is. The Kingdom Under the Sea series includes breathtaking animation, colorful characters, and a Bible-based storyline told in a parable form.
I fucking knew it. It's a Christian Finding Nemo.
It's intended to teach children about death and resurrection of Jesus, the importance of quote unquote knowing God, and the attribute of forgiveness. Damn.
Okay.
Who's the Jesus fish?
Is it?
I can't tell.
The whale.
But unfortunately, it's only 25 minutes, and I don't know if you can tell. But the quality of this animation is awful. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just about to make that a game where we have to guess
I have
the
another
duration.
one.
Okay. From the
what
Kingdom
about
of the
Hanna-Barbera's Samson and Delilah?
Hanna-Barbera's Samson and Delilah. I'm gonna go 22.
22 minutes.
Yeah, it can't be more than 30.
I'm gonna have to check the tape. 28 minutes.
Oh,
Jake gets it. Wow.
Here, I have one more.
These will be coming up on an episode of SBC for sure.
No, actually, let me get this one. This one's sorry, it still has the antique store tag on it. Red Skelton's Christmas.
Red Skelton's one of those guys who used to be super popular and then just zero transition to. There was at some point at which one generation knew him and the next generation knew absolutely nothing about him.
I don't think he got on the TikTok bandwagon fast enough.
I feel like I barely know him just because there was a little bit of him in the early 90s.
I feel
on
like
TV, and then he disappeared.
He's in at least one episode of I Love Lucy.
I could see that.
Man, his getup looks so racist, but it's not. Right? It's not.
Are you sure?
Unless it is.
Could you show that again? Because it definitely looked like minstrel.
It's not. It's he's painted on a beard, like it's a beard with a white mouth. It's not on the upper
minstrel,
part at all.
It's close.
It's not blackface, but that is like minstrel tradition.
Was it direct to video or did it air on TV? I need to guess the runtime based on this information.
Well, this says this Golden Globe award winning show, Red Skelton show, presents
so I'm gonna say
this.
Like 44 minutes if it aired on TV with commercials.
51.
Okay, it's higher. Do you both want to guess again?
No.
It's higher than 50 minutes?
I just want the misery to end.
75 minutes.
That's way too long.
Yeah. But Ian, you and I can just watch Victory at Sea.
Can I ask a question here?
What battle is that about?
That sounds so familiar. What is that?
Victory at Sea is like the tapes of naval stuff from World War II. So this is tape 5. Or tape 4, excuse me. Midway is East. Japanese victories in the Battle of Midway.
Oh. Okay, yeah. I literally just finished a book about Leyte Gulf. Do you guys know about the Battle of Leyte Gulf, the naval battle?
You'll have to remind me.
So that's the reaction I wanted, because it turns out Leyte Gulf is the largest naval battle in history, and it's also the last time, as well as the only time in World War II, that battleships faced off against each other in gun range. And so so the book was actually very good at kind of going through this like 3-day battle, like the lead up to it, the events that happened. And it's kind of tickled my naval combat a little bit.
And was this in the Pacific?
Yeah, this was in the Pacific. I'll tie it into the larger history. So if you remember, MacArthur had to leave the Philippines, and he said, "I'll be back."
Yes.
Actually, was that exactly? He didn't say "I'll be back." There's some other phrase.
It's a famous line
return or something.
It was just in Cryptonomicon too, and I can't remember it.
So anyways, October of 1944, the Allies launch an invasion of the Philippines to take it back at Leyte Gulf, but the U.S. gets there first, and so they're able to land. And several days later, the Japanese fleet shows up in like 3 or 4 different groups, and so there's some like carrier action, there's some submarine action, there's some battleship action, and basically it's the Japanese trying to attack the naval escorts and eventually the landing party of the reinvasion, the liberation of the Philippines. It was good. Good
This
read.
is
I think it's called the
backtracking.
Battle of Leyte Gulf.
Backtracking a touch, was the Yorktown the carrier that sank at Midway?
I think so. I believe so. Sounds right to me. You know what's bullshit though, Jake?
All that Pacific stuff is just percolating in my brain.
I think you can agree with me on this. If we should ship names should be one and done. They should not be reused, because they keep getting reused and it's pissing me off. There's one ship. There's
too many enterprises.
There's too many enterprises. And like I went to Charleston, South Carolina last year for New Year's, and they have an aircraft carrier there, and I think it was the Yorktown, and I was like, that's no way, that's the Yorktown. I had to look it up.
Ocean.
And they're like, no, this is a different Yorktown, but this one did serve in World War II, but it was like 45 when it got birthed, and because the last one just got sunk, they transferred the name, and I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. Like one name, one ship. That's
it's like the Constitution.
One man, one bullet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, they at least don't use them at the same time. They're just like keeping the name moving forward.
And if we have to like start using new names and retiring the old names so we can eventually get to like the USS George Santos.
Well, that's my next hot take. This is a little bit spicier, which is I don't think they should be named after people. And it's nothing to do with politics. Either. It's just so much better when it's like Enterprise, Constellation, Yorktown, famous battle sites,
Kennedy.
Whatever. Yeah. I do like tanks being named after people though, like the Abrams, the Bradley, things like that.
JJ.
That makes sense.
Dick.
We don't name guns. We should what category should we name
like
guns after?
Bertha?
Well, but that's the manufacturer.
Thompson.
That's the manufacturer.
I know, but it's still named after someone.
But like M16 should have a name.
Bill.
Rick.
It's Bill.
Oh, this is a bad bit. Okay. Let's talk about video games. I've been playing video games this week. I'm about 22 hours into Overwatch 2, Outer Worlds 2, of the Outer Worlds flavor. Ian, you've played around an hour and a half of this game. I assume you won't be playing more.
How do you know that it's an hour and a half?
Because that's what the Xbox tells me.
Does it really? Because I don't think it's an hour and a half. It felt more like 45 minutes.
I think it was
the headline
25.
for me, if you remember, I think we talked about this off stream, where I was excited to play it, and then it unlocked, and I hadn't played it yet, and I had an inkling that I'm not in the mood for one of these games right now, and that's the headline for me, is that I played 45 minutes of this and I'm like, I'm just not in the mood for looting. I'm not in the mood for talking to people and doing quests and things. The bigger problem I have with this game, though, and don't worry, this is not preempting you in any way. We need to talk about how fucked an engine Unreal Engine 5 is. It's just a piece of shit. It's a UE5 game. I had to look it up and confirm it because I was having problems with it. And I was like, it's the same problems I had with the Avowed. It's the same problems I have with UE5 engine games. And then I looked it up. The thing with UE5 is that it just has these like stutters where like you can be running at like perfect frame rate, and just every couple of seconds it'll be like dropped frame. It'll just fucking do it. And I don't know the tech behind it. Something to do with like texture pop in, or like you look a direction and it's trying to load a higher texture, but you can fucking feel it. So even if you're playing the game perfectly at 60 FPS, it will still drop frames. But then the problem that I've had playing on PC is trying to get this game to 60 FPS. The same problem I had with Avowed, and it's not an Obsidian problem, it's a fucking Unreal Engine 5 problem, is that first thing I do is I try and play in 4K. And I have a pretty beefy rig, but sometimes you can't play games in 4K, and it's like, okay, that's fine. I'll start bumping the settings down. I start bumping the settings down. The game gets very ugly very fast, right? So then I'm like, okay, all right, I'll bump it down to 1440p. And I get it to 60 frames per second. But now the problem is the only way I can get it to 60 frames per second at 1440p is by turning on like any of the fucking frame upscaling things like DLSS or I forget what the fucking NVIDIA, the AMD one is called. I think it's called FSR. And I don't know if you've noticed this, Will, but when that is on, especially if you look at trees more than like 50 feet away, the leaves are just dancing like texture mesh artifact shit because it doesn't know how to handle the leaves. So it's like, okay, I can get 60 frames per second, but I have to leave this like frame smoothing, frame generation, upscaling shit on, which makes enough of the game look fucking ugly. Like where literally like, I'm standing still, I'm looking at trees, and it's just like gibberish in the leaves. Or I can turn that shit off, and now I don't really get anti-aliasing, and the game runs worse at like 40 frames per second. And again, this is not an Outer Worlds 2 problem. It's a fucking Unreal Engine 5 problem, because I have these problems with every single one of these games. And if you go to the console, Will, you have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Avowed was like, hey, if you want 60 frames per second, you have to play at 1080p. If you go above 1080p, you're getting 30 frames per second. And we're so deep into this generation. Why the fuck can't we play 4K games? Especially when I don't know about you, Will, but Outer Worlds 2 does not look incredible. It looks good, but there is no reason based off of how it looks for it to run this poorly, and it's pissing me off. That's my Unreal Engine 5 rant. I don't know if you guys have had that issue as well.
I've never run into an issue with an Unreal 5 game. I'm sure they're there. I just haven't noticed them. I also haven't played any on PC, which might also be a thing.
Is Microsoft making, because isn't the new the Halo on PlayStation is in UE5?
Oh, and buddy, it had issues. It had showed UE5 issues in the fucking Halo Unreal 5 trailer.
Yeah.
Like there's like a very specific example people found was there's the one shot where it's the woman pilot and she's talking. So it's a cutscene. So it cuts to her talking. The first frame or two, her hair and her entire face is like a super low detail texture. And then it pops in. So like when you're watching the scene, there's a weird pop. They cut to her and there's a pop, which is her face popping into from low texture to high texture. Like that engine is just fucked, period. Like it has these problems and they have never fixed them. And unfortunately, it's gotten to the point where it is a struggle for me to play one of these games. To your point, Will, it's a struggle for me to play one of these games on PC because I expect it to be at 60 FPS and I cannot get there without sacrificing image quality. Whereas on console, there's a built-in handicap of, hey, this is going to run at 30 FPS basically. Or I'm trying to remember what Avowed was. I think Avowed was 45 FPS if you went above 1080p. If you went to like, I think it was like 45 FPS performance and like 30 FPS quality or something like that. It's just pissing me off that everybody keeps switching to this engine, but it has such horrible problems this late in a generation for the second generation of 4K consoles. It's like, what the fuck are we doing, people? It's crazy.
Yeah. It's not that I don't care about those things, but if I cared about those things, I think I'd be more angry. But I have
That's fair.
Rarely ever cared about graphics, except I tell you, I hate that TSR ghosting. That is the one thing I hate in all video games forever. But anyways, Outer Worlds 2, I'm playing on the Xbox Series X. It's on performance mode. I think it's 60. My TV does 120 on everything, so it just looks good and runs fast. But I'm pretty sure it is 60 because I think it goes down to 30 when I do balanced, and I can see a little bit like not doubling frames, but I can tell a frame rate difference between performance and balanced at least. So I think it is 60.
Gotcha.
It's really good. It starts weird. It starts with like a thing happens, then they're like an amount of time later, and then the game starts.
Yeah.
And it feels like they added that last minute for no reason, because nothing of what happens the amount of time after feels like time has passed at all. They're like, oh, let's go to this person's hideout we're chasing. And I'm like, but that was 10 years ago. Why would they still be there? And they're like, yeah, they're right down here. And I'm like, but guys, this was 10 years ago. Why is all this stuff still here? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I do think it's a good tutorial section to kind of hand out parts of the game and explain what's going on, etc. to you.
But it just feels like they were like...
Not in story mode, but mechanically.
It feels like someone was like, the time should be 3 weeks. And everyone's like, yeah, let's do 3 weeks, blah, blah, blah. And then someone walked in and it's like, no, it's 5,000 years. It's not actually 5,000 years, but like exorbitant more time. And I'm like, what? So that was kind of annoying. Also, up until like the 10-hour mark, I don't know, it's pretty like fatigued on it. I was just like... I still think everyone's way too verbose in this setting. Like they just talk too much, and I'm trying to listen to the voice lines, and at most I am reading the full line before I button through, but I'm starting. It's what I did with Avowed. By the end of Avowed, I was buttoning through every conversation because I just didn't care anymore. And I'm starting to get there. I'm not getting there as far as Avowed because I like the setting a lot more than Avowed, but to be perfectly honest, I don't find the Outer Worlds settings very good. Like it's just, I don't know. I don't like the like old West steampunky future spaceships and everything. It's like,
is it just a matter of like the writing itself, or is it just that it's not very economical?
No, I think the writing's good, but I think the corner they painted themselves into to always use awkward and weird Western like snake oil salesman words, like I think that annoys me more than anything. There are really good jokes and stuff like that, but just keeping like, oh, how did you discombobulate your blapper snapper, my weird whiskered man? And I'm just like, talk normal, please. Yeah, but I don't mind it that much, but it's starting to wear a little thin. And also I feel like there's a dichotomy between like there's too much of a dichotomy between the way people are living and the supposed level of technology everyone has. Like it's too like these people should be able to sustain themselves quite well. Like it's not well done kind of the way Star Wars does it, where you're like, how can there be people as poor as like Andor, yet they have access to all the, like they go a good way of not showing you, like they don't have like instant telephones and like the internet and stuff like that in Star Wars. So you like kind of get that thing all together. But in here, it just feels kind of weird that basically anyone can talk to anyone across anywhere with those computers and everything, and then like people who are like a village apart won't be able to talk to each other. You're just like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But overall, I'm really enjoying it.
Ludonarrative dissonance.
Yeah, ludonarrative dissonance. I'm gonna diss mine into Outer Worlds 2. No inventory cap, which I think was the same in the first one, but it was refreshing to just keep picking things up and not have to worry about having to drop things. My character felt like I was dying constantly in the beginning. Your health like melts so quickly. My companions kept dying. Even now, it feels still weird. I hate That's funny. I like this game. I hate the fucking inhaler medical thing. Just let me eat fucking food and use stim packs. You like use the medical inhaler and it gives you toxicity.
Isn't that how it works?
And you can't use it twice because it'll make you too toxic and then you get sick for a while. You can eat food outside of combat to heal, but you can't inside of combat.
I would just double check that because I was listening to another podcast and they praised the system. Unless I misunderstood, they were talking about how if you have like healing food in your inventory and you hit the heal button, it'll automatically use the food first, but not the healer.
Outside of combat. In combat, you can only use the healing thing. And it's stupid. There's also this Zeranium stuff that I feel like the shield they give you to combat it doesn't work at all. They give you all these weird side gadgets that are all terrible, and I hate them. I don't know. I do really like this game, which is weird, but it is also the same thing with Starfield, where it's like, I just want one big open world to hang out in. I don't want these like sectioned areas to hang around in, especially when so far 3 of the 4 planets I've gone to just feel like a palette swap. Where one of them is all ice and stuff, and that's interesting and cool. Where the other ones are just all the same, but one's like, dude, it's Twilight here, guys. It's like so dark. And then the other one's like, we're desert, I guess. I will say,
I think the problem is, I think we talked about this previously, maybe with Starfield a little bit, where it's like, this is probably a great one of those games, but those games are old now, right? You can't just have palette swaps. That's not good enough anymore for different areas, different towns. You shouldn't just let us loot whatever we want out of an area, because it turns out a lot of it's junk and useless, and it's just like, who fucking cares, So it feels like these studios keep making these games, these types of games, and they're getting, I don't want to say they're getting better at them. They're all pretty good, but the problem is those games are old, and I'm not going to say they haven't aged that well, but the genre needs an evolution, not an iteration. And it feels like all these other studios are coming in and just being like, oh, I'm going to iterate on that, make our version of it, and do it really well. But there's so many of them out there now, like we were talking about with Battlefield games, where it's like there's so many of them out there that are well done that it's like, you're not special anymore. I don't fucking care that you made a great one of these. You're not doing enough new. You're not mixing it up enough. And that's kind of what it feels like with Outer Worlds too.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of agree with what you're saying. I don't think they've gotten old. I just think they've gotten lazy about making them, like, innovating within themselves. Like, I'm not saying, like, I think innovation always should be happening, and they can innovate, but I think it's like every step of one of these has been innovating on itself, except maybe Starfield, which did occasionally some things good. But it's Outer Worlds 2, like, where Starfield and Bethesda's like, you can pick up everything and it's really sucks and it's annoying and you can get encumbered. Outer Worlds 2 is like, hey, all that shit you're picking up randomly that I guess you're just grabbing, it's in your junk thing, just sell it as junk. That's passive income versus all the important stuff's in everything else. There's always like a hold why to sell junk or break down junk.
Why? Just to push back on that a little bit, it's like why even let the player pick that up anymore? Think about something like, there are games that don't have it. Or if you're going to make us pick it up, I like the junk, but also do what Atomic Heart does, where Atomic Heart's like, just fucking hold down this button and you vacuum everything in the room in. Like, you don't have to go drawer by drawer and pick shit up. You don't have to look at things anymore. You'll just vacuum it up. Like, they're not pushing enough.
But I mean, Atomic Heart's a terrible game though.
It's got some good stuff.
I mean, yeah. But I like the junk stuff when it's treated this way, because again, that's how I make the bulk of my money, is picking up junk and selling it. Like, you just always have that passive income, and it's not, I mean, I could not pick it up. Like, I don't have to pick it up, but I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah.
But the story in this game, despite the beginning, like, the overall world is really cool. I don't know if the Protectorate is new for this game, but there's this like ultra religious group called the Protectorate. Then there's the Order, who split, was a schism away from the Protectorate, and they're all about adhering to the plan and calculating the plan. They're all these math people. Protector is all about this console. And then Spacer's Choice and Anti-Cleo's merged, so it's Anti's Choice now. And they do a lot of funny stuff with that, and every planet's like these battlefields, and you're negotiating peace between these two people. Suffice to say, 15 hours in, there's like the halfway, or I don't know if it's a halfway point, but like a big thing in the middle that you get through, and it's like, oh, okay, now we're going to multiple planets and like having some fun. So I'm hoping it lasts a lot longer, because it is getting quite good now, and I like the locations growing too. I like most of the companions. I hate the ship. Yeah, I just want one big open world. I don't want all these little places anymore. It's grown quite annoying. But the final thing I'll say that I like is all the companions respond to everything happening really well. In a way that I wasn't expecting, and have like cool compliments, but cool like talking about the other crew members and things that are going on, and being like, hey, we landed on this planet, can I go with you? And you don't bring them with you, and then like an hour later you finish all the quests and you come back and they're like pissed off at you, and you're like, oh shit, I did tell you I would take you with me, didn't I? I feel like an asshole now. It's fun, and the flaws are cool, and yeah, that's Outer Worlds 2. I'm about 22 hours into it. I'll keep playing it. We were talking about this the other day, but like first person RPGs are like the game's type I will just play any of, just cause it's like the type of game I like. Yeah. So it's the same with like people who like extraction shooters. They'll just play out them all. This is my extraction shooter. And so I played it through all of Avowed. I don't remember a single thing about it except the weird dream sequences, and I'll play through this. Speaking of playing through a game, BallxPit, I'm still playing. I've rolled credits on it. Karen rolled credits on it. It was beautiful. And then we made love on top of it. As did I. What? Yay! Jake, I'll leave it for you to talk more about it when we get to your side, because I know you've been playing it. Metroid Fusion, almost done with that. That game's really good. Playing that on the GBA Switch 2 app, the Switch Online app. I got back into that while we were watching TV. I think I'm almost done with it. It feels good. It feels really good. Metroid Fusion. That Prime 4 comes out December, right?
Yeah, it's not far away.
Yeah.
And they released a new trailer for it as well.
I'm trying to decide what... I think I'm going to buy one more like full price game this year. And Metal Gear Solid Delta's on there. Not much left.
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah.
But I don't know what I'm going to get. And then Mycopunk. Ian and I played Mycopunk. Excuse me, I'm getting so emotional. Ian and I played Mycopunk on the stream the other day when Battlefield 6 Red Sec.
Red Sec. More like Suck Sack. Am I right? Well, it wasn't that bad, but it was not that good either. It's just...
Yeah, Red Suck.
Milk Toast.
So we played Mycopunk, which is just like missions that you go on and shoot weird fucking creatures. What were they? They were like these ball creatures that were like growing.
But they had like limbs, so you'd shoot the limbs off, and some of them are like robots. There's like a mortar robot. I think I was trying to think of a way to describe it, and you kept mentioning Deep Rock Galactic, and I do think it's Deep Rock Galactic, but the missions feel more like Borderlands.
What's that game that you were like sliding around on? You did a solo stream of it.
Echo Point Nova.
It's like Echo Point Nova plus Cruelty Squad plus no, not quite Cruelty Squad.
I mean it's in that
it's got a weird art style.
Aesthetic for sure. But in terms of mechanics, it's not that crazy. Yeah, it's like mission based, and you go down, and then you have different mission. I think there's different mission types, almost like a Helldivers, where you're like looking at the planet and you pick the mission types and the mission area and the difficulty ranking you want to do. But it seems like it's got a really good perk system and upgrades for your guns, and the guns are all weird. I had this one gun where it would shoot out like drones, but they were really just like red little like they were saying they were drones, but they look like red gnats. Like red gnats. It was one big red rock. It was like red gnats. But anyways, you would shoot it and they would go to where you shot, but then they would go up in the air and hover for a second or two and then go down and target enemies. So it was like you're creating your own little like drone shower on the enemy. And it was great. I would just point that in the direction of the enemy, let loose the entire clip, and then pull back on the handle to reload and then do another clip, and it would just go whoop, and then just rain down on them. And Will, you had some crazy guns as well, right?
Yeah, I had a beam weapon that would fill up this, or it was like a plasma gun, and I would shoot it a bunch and it would fill up this battery. And when the battery got full, you held down R and it turned into a beam weapon until the battery depleted, and then you had to switch back to it. And then my other gun was just a machine gun. But the cool thing they do is they have you, when you're using one gun, the one you aren't using is regenerating its ammo. So you can you're always like switching weapons to refill your ammo and do stuff. And it was pretty fun.
And the upgrades as well for the guns, a lot of them were around elemental damage. I don't know if that mattered for the enemy you're facing, but you could be like, I had two upgrades that were like, one was like, hey, shooting this sets enemies on fire, and then another one was like, ignited enemies take 10% more damage or whatever. So you could start stacking the upgrades on your guns and your person to spec down a specific elemental, freeze, fire, shock, that type of stuff. So and the whole thing's multiplayer. I don't know how many total you can play.
I think 4.
We had, I would say at least 4, because we had 3 people in there. It was 2 plus a random. And so it's just seems like if you're feeling a Borderlands, you want to hang out and shoot stuff with your friends, you want some sort of FPS that you can level up type of thing, check out Micropunk. It's on sale right now. It's pretty cool.
It's really good. That's it for me. You talking about the guns in Micropunk did remind me, there's a shit ton of guns in Outer Worlds 2, like way more than the first game. And like I'm 22 hours in and I just found a new type of gun. And there's also a lot of silly ones. Like I bought a gun that shoots advertising drones that run around and then go blow up. So it's pretty neat. Jake Terrio, please tell me about your balls.
Well, as previously stated, I did also play BallxPit. Or BallxPit. I don't know. I've heard it said both ways in the official advertising, so I don't know if the X is just for style.
Well, I think the anime sickos say that it's cross, like Hunter cross Slayer.
I've heard that. I've heard you do say it, and then I've heard in like when 2 words are next to each other with a combined thing, you don't say the X in the middle. And I'm just like, shit. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, just come up with your favorite way to say it and say it, because they fucked up by using this naming convention. It's a bad naming convention.
So I've been
sideways
playing
plus.
Balx. And I rolled credits, and then I did run it all the way back in New Game Plus, because there were still a number of like the evolved balls that I hadn't unlocked yet.
Evolved balls.
A fun game. I think I was seeing some one of the game devs I follow remark about this trend of kind of accessible like short term like dopamine drip games like Balatro and BallxPit and others like it, where they're just like very simple, very easily understood game design. Like it's not an Elden Ring or anything that has like a super steep learning curve or anything, and how that's just kind of like the sweet spot for a lot of these kind of like indie to mid-budget games. I think, Ian, you had said somewhere in the Discord that in your hierarchy of Vampire Survivors and Megabonk and BallxPit, that BallxPit was in the bottom for you.
Yeah, I mean, I won't. We had a healthy discussion last local chat. I won't go into it too deep, but for me, I don't think the game does enough to actually, I don't want to say challenge the player, but to like encourage player agency in a way that is meaningful. So a lot of that game is just like is is not really encouraging you to fully play the game, and you can very easily go in autopilot, like yourself in autopilot, where you're just like, oh yeah, let's get through this run, and then literally, because they offer characters that autopilot it, and because of that, it does not offer as much of it leans too much into, like you said, the dopamine drip, or as I said, the empty calories of, yeah, you're playing a game and numbers go big, but at the end of the day, like you're not doing anything, you're not challenging yourself mentally or dexterity wise in any way with this video game. You are just like almost watching it be played. And because of that, even though it has a lot in it, it has a lot of mechanics, and a lot of the evolutions and stuff are good, but because of that very laid back sense, that doesn't make it as good as Mega Bonk, which does require you to pay more attention and to actively play because of it's in a 3D space, or something like Vampire Survivors, which has a lot more hidden stuff and it's a little bit more challenging with dodging the enemies and things like that. So they're all still very good, but yeah, I don't think it's as good as Mega Bonk or Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, I get that. And I mean, I definitely am having fun, but it's not, I'm not like sinking my teeth into it. It is a very casual game. I had another thought and then it vanished from me. But
bye.
Yeah, I think
BallxPit.
I mean, this is my opinion, but I think BallxPit is more. I think it is not harder, but more of my attention than a Vampire Survivors. At least from when I play because half the time Vampire Survivors, I just stand still and not do anything.
No, that's rare.
I didn't find that to be the case.
That's rare. You have to have a very good. You have to have a good build, a pretty good build in Vampire Survivors to hold still. Whereas in BallxPit, especially the way the leveling system works, where even if you're not doing well, you're constantly leveling the characters between runs to the extent where once you get like halfway through that game, you can pretty much do most of the runs and just aim the balls at the corner of like halfway up the sidewall and just like hands off from the start, and you'll be okay. Whereas Vampire Survivors, if you want to get hands off, you actually do have to have a good build.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're playing levels on the 15-minute, I guess. But then you're not doing a challenge run.
Were you not playing them at max speed?
I was playing them.
I was playing them at 3x speed.
Yeah, I was also.
And I got to a point where I played some of the like the faster versions of the levels, but most of the time I just played them on the base level because I was like, I just want to get through the game. Yeah. I just want to get the gears to get to the upper levels. But I always played it at 3x speed.
Oh, well, yeah, the in-game speeds don't matter. I'm talking about the there's faster
is there any incentive to playing the faster times? Because you don't get gears from that, do you?
You get completions all for the previous ones, and you get more money, I believe, but you don't XP.
So it's really just for XP grinding, but it doesn't actually progress you through the game with the gears.
Well, you only get the gears for new people on new levels. Beating a new level.
But I mean,
with a new person.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. So that's why I was like, I did it a couple times, and then I was like,
I mean, to be fair,
I guess you could. Yeah. It's like 10% faster XP grind, but I'm like, this is. By that point, you're like, this isn't that difficult. I'll just do 2 runs and I'll level up enough to be okay.
The other problem is I like the game, so it's like, oh, let me play it at the next challenging thing. Versus, if you're not that into the game, why would you do that?
Yeah, but my point is just the basic playthrough of the game, which is the default level, not doing the challenge levels and all that. You can very easily zone out in that game. It is not presenting enough reason for you to actively engage with it constantly. Versus something like Mega Bonk or Vampire Survivors, where there actually is like, no, you actually got to pay attention here.
I think it's the same.
Yeah. It's definitely not. You have not played enough Vampire Survivors. If you stand still and you survive without having a good build, you will be dead within 30 seconds. Because there are times where you're like, oh, I can handle this wave, and then another enemy starts showing up, and then another enemy starts showing up, and you'll get swarmed pretty quickly. Vampire Survivors is not as easy as you're making it out to see. Okay. Whereas BallxPit is because the between run upgrades literally get to a point where like you can be you can be bad at the game and still beat the game because you've done enough runs and you've done the building enough that you're getting crazy upgrades without even beating levels. And then at that point, you're doing so much damage and you have so many balls flying and you've done so many baby balls that it's like I can just sit here and not do anything and beat these levels.
Okay.
Whereas Vampire Survivors doesn't really give you that. Maybe in the end game, but not as quick as BallxPit does.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. I just think they're all the same, but that's fine. Jake, anything else you want to say on BallxPit?
No, I have exhausted all I could say about it.
Exhausted your balls.
I like the music. Amos Rowdy did a good soundtrack.
Oh, it is a good soundtrack.
One question for you, Jake, though, because I feel like everybody kind of has a consensus on this.
Okay.
The harvest / build / placement mode in BallxPit between the matches. How do you feel about it?
I mean, it seems kind of superfluous. Like in Loop Hero, it also felt kind of superfluous. But I think if I'm remembering correctly, in Loop Hero, like where you placed stuff had effects, whereas in Ball Pit, the buildings themselves just have effects, and you can like reposition them and whatnot because you upgrade them by slamming into them. I mean, it's charming enough, but I don't think the game would be worse, nor is it better with it.
Yeah, it feels like that's kind of everybody's consensus, is that building mode is a little weak, and it gets annoying the more you go through the game, having to just constantly interact with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next
How's
game?
Lego Party?
Well, I didn't know if somebody else had a closing thought. Okay. No, Lego Party is fine. I think it's got such a high threshold to overcome, obviously being compared to Mario Party, and certainly trying to function as a Mario Party competitor. But the first thing that Hazel and I did when we booted it up is I went into the options and I was like, can I turn off the dialogue? Because there is way too much of it.
Yeah.
And it's annoying. And you can also turn off the subtitles. It makes the game a touch awkward because there are certain unskippable cutscenes, like at the beginning and the end of every match, that then just become like a silent film. But it's fine. I think for what it is, yeah, it's fine. I've got my issues with it. I think the economy of studs that you get between each round versus how much it costs to actually do anything is crazy. You're just like swimming in money all the time, to the point where I actually felt like there wasn't really an incentive to do well in any of the mini games, because you were always going to be getting, like, you would basically get enough money to buy a golden brick, just naturally moving around the board, where then you hardly had to do anything in the mini games. And because they don't do, like in Mario Party, they don't do bonus stars or bonus bricks at the end, so there's like doubly not an incentive to really like try to excel at the mini games, because there's no theoretical like, oh well, maybe I'll get the mini game star at the end. But the levels are all very charming. The way that the game plays is different enough from Mario Party, and like the power-ups that you can get to enhance your dice rolls are interesting. But it certainly is not going to dethrone Mario Party for, I think, anyone. But I'm hoping that maybe they'll introduce some more boards, because there's only 4 right now. They do, I think they're trying to add a little bit more variety in only having 4 boards, because there's certain parts of each board that you can customize to be different every time you play, which is neat. But yeah, it's just okay. It's fun, but it's not like exceptional.
Any standout mini games?
No, I mean, we definitely haven't played all of them yet, but there's really I've played enough of them that it seems like there's only a couple of kinds of mini games. They have like ones where you're racing, or ones where you're kind of like grappling around. There's like a Flappy Bird type mini game, but there certainly is not the variety that there is in Mario Party. And there's one, I don't know, I don't remember if either of you played it at any point previously on any of the streams, so I can't recall. But we encountered it like just a straight up trivia game, where it was they would do little, like a Lego interpretation of a famous work of art, but then it would be like, who painted this? And then it would give you multiple choice of like real artists.
That's cool.
It was interesting, but then I was like, is this a kid's game? I'm like, do children playing this know who Vermeer is? Because I saw one and I'm like, that's Vermeer's The Milkmaid. And I'm like, what kid is going to know this? And they'd show like 3 paintings and they'd be like, which artist isn't represented here? So that was interesting to me. And then in a little like a tooltip in between loading screens, it mentioned that there are multiple trivia games. So I don't know what the other ones are, but it was weird to me that there was just like a trivia game in this Mario Party knockoff. But
weird.
You're gonna learn something.
It's gonna be in like 30 years. There'll be a kid who'll be like, at a trivia night, and like, oh, I know who that artist is because when I grew up, I played Lego Party and I always got the question wrong until I learned it was Vermeer, and then got it right.
I was already a couple layers deep because there was one. Oh no, it was Vermeer's The Milkmaid, where I was like, I know what this is because it's in Animal Crossing.
See, there we are.
So I was already
it
down
all
the rabbit
comes
hole.
back.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I watched a streamer play it, and then at the Giant Bombathon they played it, and it looks like a weird fun time where I don't know if it's more fun because it's good or more fun because it's not, or because it's not Mario Party. You know, like someone else put one of these out. So
yeah, I think I don't think it would be out of the question if, I mean, it's $40, so I don't know if we would all want to buy it to play it at Extra Life, but
next year. We'll play it at Extra Life next year.
Yeah.
Nextra
Life, as it were.
Speaking of next, Ian Gibson, please tell us all the wonderful things you've been playing.
Well, you see, the thing was, I shit talked BallxPit so much. I said it was empty calories. I said their mechanics aren't that good. I said it doesn't have any challenge, and I was like, hey, I should play some Power Wash Simulator too. Because the great thing about these empty calorie games, folks, is that if you just want to listen to podcasts, a perfect game for them. Fucking perfect. So, Will, you played Power Wash Simulator 1, right? You've got some experience with this.
I do.
What about you, Jake?
I think we played it at Extra Life, did we not?
Will played it a little bit, yeah.
That's my only experience with it.
Wow.
I played one a little bit. It didn't grab me. This second one, I am like 90% of the way through the campaign. I have, I don't know, probably dozens of hours in it at this point. Although I haven't played it in a couple days, because it literally is perfect time, perfect moment for me to just be like, I just want to listen to a bunch of podcasts and spend 30 minutes. The differences between this and the last game, I don't know all of them, but the big one is that, Will, do you remember how soap worked in the first game?
Vaguely. I don't think I ever used it, but I think you would just like spray it on.
Like basically whatever you spray it on makes it easier to clean. So if there's tough stuff, you either have to sit there and spray it for a while with Power Washer, or you spray soap on it and it makes it easier. But I believe in the first game, it was like limited usage and you had to pay. So you had to be like, give me a bottle of soap, and you'd pay for a bottle of soap, and then you'd use the bottle and you'd be like, fuck, I'm out of soap. And I think there were also different types of soap. So they would be like, this is for graffiti stains. This is for oil stains. Mm-hmm. The big change in this game is that soap is free and you get it from the start, and there's one type of soap. So you can soap whatever you want. Like the only quote unquote upgrade for the soap is that it goes on your gun. So if you want it to reach longer or whatever, then you have to buy the extension wand for your normal Power Washer gun. But they just made it so much easier and simpler with soap in this game. So there's still a little bit of a, I don't want to say a challenge there, but soap is still useful because, like, especially like I said, for graffiti, if you want to take graffiti off with just water, you have to like stay on it and do a very narrow spray, and it's annoying. Or you just switch to soap, soak the whole thing in soap, and then go back to a wider nozzle and rinse it off, and you're good to go. So they fixed that. Other than that, I think this game is like nearly identical to the first game, and I don't want to give the impression that this game is great. I don't even know if it's good necessarily, because their upgrade system fucking sucks. And Will, I'm gonna need your help if it was like this in the first game. But so basically the way it works is that there's 2 brands of power washers. And one brand is like, hey, this is wider but less powerful. And the other one's like, hey, this is more powerful but a narrower beam, right? And then for each of those brands, there's multiple tiers. So like the low tier gun is not very powerful. And then you could save up your money and buy the next tier of that gun, and it's maybe 10% more powerful, right? So it's like, so it goes a little bit further, and it gets the stains off, the stuff off a little bit quicker. But then for each of those guns, you can buy upgrades. So you can buy like, you could buy an adaptive nozzle, so that instead of the preset nozzle size, you can like spin the nozzle to make it bigger or smaller, whatever size you want. You can buy the extensions, which makes the wand longer, so that way you don't have to get as close to the object to spray it. You know, they just have upgrades like that. Here's the problem. Let's say you're on the low tier gun, and you're making a little bit of money from these jobs. So you're like, I bought the extension wand for the low tier gun. Then you save up your money and you buy the next tier up of gun. It doesn't come with any of the accessories. So now you have to save up again to buy the same fucking extension wand, but now it's for the gun that does 10% better spray or whatever. And you do that like 4 times. Like there's 3 or 4 tiers in this game where you're just like, what the fuck do you mean you're going to make me save up to buy the more powerful gun, but I can't use any of the accessories from the previous gun on it? So now just picture this. The upgrade tree is like 10 guns, right? Like let's say 2 guns for each tier. So it's like tier 1 gun, and here's 4 accessories for it. And then you scroll down, and then it's like, here's the tier 2 gun. It looks pretty much the same, but it's 10% more powerful. And here's the same 4 fucking accessories, but you have to re-unlock them because it's different for some reason. And I was like, I was enjoying playing this game, and I was like, let me scroll down. Like, give me something to go for. And the only things that are different at the bottom of the tree is that I believe there's 2 unique upgrades, and one of them is just like, oh, this is like 4 nozzles that spin, so it does like more power in a swirl. And the other one's like, oh, this is 3 powerful nozzles hooked up at the same time in a line, so you can do like almost like a pitchfork pattern. That's it. That's the only unique stuff at the bottom of the fucking tech tree. Like you're just literally unlocking the same fucking upgrades over and over again. And it's wild to me that this is a sequel and they have such a fucking dumb thing, because the actual act of power washing in this feels pretty good. It just feels like this is not how the game works, but it feels like they were like, hey, you know how people complain about those microtransaction games because they nickel and dime you over like the shittiest little upgrades, and that's the only way to like feel like you're progressing in the game? What if we have that type of unlock system, but we forget to charge people for it? So we're gonna make you do 3 jobs to unlock the same accessory over and over again. Was it like that in the first game, Will?
I don't really remember. I remember you had to buy new guns, but I only used the base gun. And also all of the like DLC stuff. Jake killed himself. All of the DLC stuff is they just gave you like the most powerful thing, and you just had all of those. Yeah. So it didn't matter. But yeah, there was no. I don't think there was any. I think it was similar. I mean, the system you're explaining makes sense, but I just think in a modern game, that's not what people want. You know, people who don't do like. People haven't done that system from the first game, like, because it's the same thing. It's just like unlocking a new weapon, then you unlock all the attachments for it, but they're just doing it in this weird convoluted way where it's like you don't get any of the previous stuff.
That's fair. Yeah, but I hate that unlock system as well.
No, I agree with you.
I think it's annoying. That has differences,
but yeah. that's where I like see where they're coming from, and I don't think anyone. I think the problem is no one there was like, oh, we need to change the system, because I don't think.
Yeah. It's just wild because I'm looking at it like I don't know if you guys do this in RPGs. I mean, you probably did this in Outer Worlds too. I know I did it when they show you the list of perks, and I'm like, let me read through these perks. Like I can't unlock all of them right now, but I want to have an idea of where I can go. Oh, that's a crazy perk that's at level 10. That's not going to happen in Power Wash Simulator because you scroll down the list and you go, well, I guess I could go for the more powerful gun. It says that it's a little bit more powerful, but I look at the accessories, like the other unlocks with it, and they're identical to what I'm currently doing. So it's just weird because this is a game where I feel like they know exactly what the game needs to be. They know exactly what it needs to feel like, and they've nailed it because you are power washing. It's fucking awesome. But when it comes to actual progression, like here's money to buy stuff. Hey, here's another currency you can use to buy furniture to put in your office that you never go to because you don't have to go there to do missions. You can just do it from the escape menu. So it's like, I feel like they just completely fucked up the progression. Well, like I wanted them to, just real quick, they could have gone down the business side, right? Like the way you play the game is as you're playing the game, there are story missions and then there's free play. Free play just lets you replay any previous mission to like not get extra money, but just to get extra side currency for like the cosmetic stuff. But as you're playing, typically they will be like, hey, here's one job for you. This person called about a van. Sometimes there will be two of them where they're like, you can clean this motel or you can clean this playground. But I almost want a business side where it's like, no, let me put some money into the business so I can say, I'm going to market to small people. I like the quick $500 vehicle jobs and not the $3,000 motel job. So I'm going to spend money on the marketing upgrade that markets me to vehicles so that I get more vehicle jobs. This game supports multiplayer, which means I don't think it would be that difficult for me to be like, hey, let me hire a worker, and the worker comes with me on jobs, and every 2 minutes I can point to something and he will spend 2 minutes cleaning that for me. So I have hired him. I pay him 10% of every job, but because of that, I get to point at a wall and he gets it done, and there's so many cool things they could have done with this, especially since it's a sequel, and they didn't. It's frustrating because of how much they nailed the core gameplay, and then they're just fucking it up around the edges. Like I said, I probably have like 20 plus hours in this game, and I stopped playing it because I got 2/3 of the way through the missions, 2/3 of the way through the tech upgrades and everything, and I was like, there is nothing carrying me forward. I needed just one cool thing at the end of the tech upgrade, and I would have fucking finished that game just to experience it, and it wasn't there, and that's frustrating.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the issue is they didn't make Power Washing Simulator 2. They made Power Washing Simulator again to release another game and make more money.
Yeah, that's fair. And that's super shitty.
Yeah.
Because
that's what it feels like.
They could have made a real sequel.
Yeah. I didn't mention this, but Karen, you talking about it. Karen and I have been playing more of that Supermarket Simulator, and we literally hired a cashier, hired someone to run the produce scales, and then we just hired a guy who like goes to the boxes, grabs stuff, and fills the shelves and everything. And it's like, that should be in Power Washing Simulator. Why
that's
is it
progression,
not?
Baby.
Like the guy can go at like
progression.
20% your speed. At least he's working on something,
Yes, exactly. Power Washing Simulator has absolutely nothing like that. It's wild. I hate to keep shitting on games, but I do want to shit on another game real quick.
Hell yeah.
You guys heard of Cities Skylines 2? Which, when did that come out? Like last year or the year before?
A year ago? I thought.
You got something like that. Any of you guys played either 1 or 2 of Cities Skylines?
No. I've watched a good bit of video of Cities Skylines, but I've not played it.
I was taking a shower today, and I came up with a concept, and I think you guys can relate to this. It's called the 10-hour deal breaker. So it's a deal breaker, but it's not immediate. It's annoying, but then you get 10 hours into the game and you're like, this is not going away, and this annoyance has become so large that it is now a deal breaker, and I'm going to stop playing the game. And City Skylines 1 had it, and City Skylines 2 has it as well, which is that
integrated neighborhoods. Just kidding.
I want to respond to that so badly.
That's Ian's big problem.
I don't want to get in trouble. You can't do this to me, Will. No, it just has all these little things that are wonky, like little UI stuff that doesn't quite feel right. And like, the main problem though is that the AI in this game, in particular the pedestrians and the drivers, are fucking idiots, and it's infuriating. Like a lot of city skylines. No, Jake, it's worse. It's worse. It's one of those things where like a lot of city skylines is building roads and like trying to build highway on ramps and off ramps and like feeder roads and arteries and things like that, and trying to manage the traffic properly. But the drivers are so dumb. It's wild. Like it's a problem in the first game. It's a problem in the second game. So I'll give you two examples. One was I had these off ramps. I had this big like 5-lane highway. It was actually a one-way highway. It was literally just like a teardrop, right? So it circles this big city district. It's a teardrop. It's all one way. It's 5 lanes. Actually, I think it was 6 lanes. So the idea was they go down this one-way loop, and when they want to go in the neighborhood, it was left exits, because I don't know why I did that, but anyways, it was left exits. And to be fair, if it was right exits, I would have the same problem. And basically, it's 6-lane highway. Cars are coming down the 6-lane highway, and cars kept cutting across all the lanes to immediately take an exit.
Yeah, like real life.
No, not like real life, because the way the game treats it is that all the other cars in all the other lanes stop and let them do it over and over again. So it's not 6 lanes of like medium traffic and cars are weaving in and out. It's we're going to have cars from every single lane randomly take a 90-degree left to hit this off ramp, even though the off ramp's not 90 degrees, and every other car behind them across all the lanes is going to stop and let them go, and it leads to traffic. And you can't get rid of that. Like, they don't have, like, the way their driving patterns are fucked up. The other thing was like a roundabout, right? So like I would have a roundabout, and I would make the roundabout like a 3-lane roundabout, right? And it's like 2 of these lanes just need to go through the roundabout to get to the other side, and 1 lane is going to take a left off the roundabout, right? So it's a roundabout with basically 1 feeder road and 2 off roads, and 1 road is balanced much heavier than the other one. It doesn't matter how many lanes are in the roundabout. The drivers will always filter down to the single lane in the roundabout, and it just becomes dirt slow. Like Jake, to your point, in real life, if people see open space in an open lane, they will gun it until they are stopped by a car. And in city skylines, it's the opposite. It is literally like, I'm going to drive completely counter to where I need to go, but at the last minute, I'm going to go that direction, and everybody else behind me is going to stop what they're doing, even if there's open space in front of them.
Perfect.
It's fucked. Like, it's the same thing happened in the first game. Same things happened in the second game. Like I said, I probably played 10 hours of it, and I was like, this is not. Why isn't this working? I thought it was me. I thought I was building bad roads, bad traffic. No, it wasn't that. And I go online, people are like, yeah, it sucks. And I'm like, fuck this game. That's my 10-hour deal breaker. You guys ever have that concept of like something that is a little bothersome when you start a game, but it keeps building and building to a point where you're just like, I can't take this anymore. I'm going to drop the game.
Yeah, I reached that in Starfield, and then I played it for 100 hours.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Jake. You don't have to do that.
For science.
What about you, Will? You got an example?
Yeah, I probably have that with something. I don't have an example. Probably if I usually when I'm playing older games and like the checkpoints are bad, that's when I'll be like, you know what, fuck this.
Yeah, you keep losing progress and things like that.
Oh, you know what? Not to tie this back to a previous talking point, but I did kind of feel that way about Outer Worlds 1. I did kind of get like 10 hours into it, and I just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, Outer Worlds 1 was not great. The only thing I really liked about Outer Worlds 1 was that big piece of DLC. I forget what it was called. But one of their DLC 10. Packs... not Minerva's 10. From BioShock 2. Or BioShock 1? No, 2 is... Yeah. No, one of those second big expansions of that, it's really good, which is what made me excited for 2. But yeah, one's a bit that way.
Yeah. I know I'm shitting on a lot of games, but I did find a game that's pretty good and is scratching that
Solid 6
train. It's I don't know what to rate it.
Fever.
It is, folks. I got sick this week. I done picked up the fever, transport fever too. I'm
interested to know about your third bullet point here. I need to know how this ties in.
We'll get to it. I had never even heard of these games until Reddit found out I liked OpenTTD, Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe, and then started feeding me stuff from Transport Fever subreddit. Have you guys heard of these games?
I have definitely heard of Transport Fever, but I have not played it.
I think I own the first one and I played the tutorial.
So this is a train game. It also has, cars and boats and planes, but it's definitely a train forward game. But it's not a drive the train yourself game. It's a lay the tracks and set up depots and set up routes. It's actually very, very similar to OpenTTD in terms of there is a farm on the map. It supplies grain. There is a factory over here. It takes grain and turns it into bread. And there's a city over here, and that city wants bread. So you're setting up a route between them. And in the OpenTTD fashion as well, it's like when you set up a route, like if you want to set up a bus route, you put bus stops around the city, and then you have to put down a road depot attached to that city somewhere, and then you go to the road depot and you say buy a bus, and then you say that bus is on this line, and then under the line you say this line goes to stop 1, stop 2, stop 3. That's the basic of it. And then for the industry level stuff, it's like I said with the bread, it's like there's industries that are creating stuff that you need to transport elsewhere. There's industries that are in the middle where they take raw goods and turn them into a medium good like bread, and then there's demand for that somewhere else on the map. And as you're doing that, you're getting money for those routes, and those factories are growing. It's a really cool system. OpenTTD does this as well, where it's if it's a farm and they're creating grain, it's going to create a small amount of grain. But the more grain you take from it, the more you satisfy that farm by taking the grain away, it'll slowly level up over time and make more grain and more grain and more grain. And so it's one of those things where it's if you treat a factory or town or a source well, and you do what it wants, which is either taking something from it or providing it something, it'll slowly provide more and more of that material, which means you can add more trains and you can add more lines and you add more money. I do have some problems with this game, but it's kind of weird. I've played this game, I think I'm 2/3 of the way through the campaign, which is 11 or 12 missions. I think I'm into it. And it's still the tutorial. And to be fair, this is 10 or 12 hours into the game. This is a fucking Persona-ass game. It literally is hey, this mission, they basically put so much effort into it, so it's hard for me to shit talk them, but it is kind of weird. So I'll give you an example. The 4th or 5th mission, they're hey, let's go to Scotland in the 1870s. So they have this small size map, and it's supposed to be, it doesn't look exactly like Scotland, but they're hey, here's Glasgow, here's Edinburgh, here's Inverness, right? And you go through the mission, and the mission's oh, hey, this Edinburgh really wants bread. You should bring bread to them. And so you have to hook up a factory to that. But then but these missions are all structured around introducing new mechanics. So 5 hours into the game, 5th or 6th mission, they're the town really wants whiskey, but it's on this island. Maybe it's time to build a boat for the first time, So it's it's a tutorial that has been spread out over the entire thing. I didn't get planes until mission 9 or something, which is 8 or 9 hours into the game. And the missions are trying to tell a story. The first time they introduced the plane, I was in France, and they were like, hey, these plane things are really cool. And then they're we should train people how to fly them. Here's how to do that. And it's just teaching you how to go to an airport and buy an airplane and create a route for it to fly around. So it's a very slow tutorial, and sometimes the mission descriptions are so poorly written that it's not clear what you have to do. So literally 6 or 7 times now I've had to go to Google and be this is the mission I'm on. Why the fuck isn't it working? What do they want me to do? And I find some Steam guide post, Steam community post with 12 other people saying this is so fucking dumb. Why didn't they say that from the start? Like, why did they write it like that? You know, like they're trying to tell a story through this tutorial. So it is a little weird that I'm this far into the game and, you know, it's still slowly doling out new pieces of information. I do know there's a free play mode where you can just load a big map and there's towns and factories and you can just build whatever you want. But I will say, the campaign, for its problems, is kind of interesting. Like I've done, I did Baghdad in like the late 1800s, you know, like the oil rush. And I posted the disclaimer in Discord. I'm not going to go through the whole thing here, but basically they have a disclaimer that pops up when you start the campaign, and it's like, hey, the history of transportation is complicated. There's a lot of people that were taken advantage of and a lot of bad things that happened. And you're going to see representations of that in our campaign. We think it's bad. These are not our views, but we want to, you know, basically because you're a transport baron, we want to, you know, make you experience it like they did. And so, you know, when you're going into Baghdad, you're like, you know, taking advantage of them. A fantastic example that I did today was there was a map in China in 1949, which is right after the Civil War ended and Mao Zedong is taken over. And it's literally like, hey, half the tracks are destroyed because of the Civil War. First thing you have to do is like get steel to, you know, do this steel mission so that you can rebuild the tracks in a way. And then they're like, hey, it's the 5-year plan. That means everybody needs to be farming. And then they're like, so you need to like convert, you need to build all these farms, and you build all these farms and you build all this grain. And they're like, you did such a great job, but guess what? It's the great leap forward. Turn all your farms into steel plants, which is what literally happened in China in the Great Leap Forward, where literally the Communist Party was like, every village needs to have an iron furnace. Burn all your pots. We need more iron and steel for the country. And so the game literally has you do that. They're like, fuck farms. Turn all your farms into steel, and your new mission is to make 100 pieces of steel and ship it over here. And then the mission literally ended with they were like, the country's doing good, but we think we could do even better with a giant fucking dam over here. And so like the mission progressions where at the end they're like, take the 100 pieces of steel, take the 100 pieces of machinery, you got to feed the population and get it all over here and ship it to the dam in the top corner of the map. So even though it is kind of a slow tutorial, they're doing a good job of building all these like little custom maps with like, I don't want to say realistic, but like, they're telling history through this. It's not 100% accurate. It's cherry picked in a way, but it's much more history than you would get out of 99% other video games.
Did you have to
really, really cool.
Constantly make new routes for Mao's train because he was paranoid that people would know he was in one place for too long?
No, but I did have to do that on a Russia map where the Tsar like wanted private transit, so I had to make his own custom train line and buy a specific train car for him. So yeah, there's just all these little cool tidbits in it. So it's really cool. It's not quite as good as OpenTTD, but it looks really, really good. It's fun. You can zoom in. It looks fantastic. You can like click on trains and like ride the train. I don't think you can actually ride in the train, but it basically gives you like a camera view from like right in front of the train, so you can look ahead or you can turn around and like look down the train. And you can also do that to cars.
Something similar.
Yeah, and you can do it to people on the street, so you can click on somebody on the street and like like follow them around. So it looks beautiful. It's basically like OpenTTD, slightly less mechanical depth to it, but it's got a lot of quality of life stuff on it. The campaign's pretty good, so I'm excited to finish the campaign and then hop into some of the map as well. It's fun discovering this.
I do own this game. For some reason, I thought the new one came out and that's what you were playing. But
no,
that comes out next year.
But yeah.
But yes, I do own 2. I think I played like half of the first mission and then stopped.
It's good.
Because it's Unreal Engine 5, so I was like, really? No, I'm kidding.
I know it's not because it runs great. I will say, I don't know if you guys have an example of this. I hate putting you guys on the spot, keeping asking you for examples, but this feels like a perfect sister game where I probably have like close to 90 hours in OpenTTD now, but I need a break from it but I still kind of want to play it. And so I'm playing Transport Fever 2, and I'm like, this is basically the same game, but it's technically different. So it's letting me scratch that itch, that open TTD itch, very, very similar to it, but it's a different game. So I'm not burnt out on it.
Mm-hmm. I already have the answer. It's called RimWorld and Dwarf Fortress.
That's perfect. That's a perfect example. What about you, Jake? You got an example?
I'm sure I could come up with something, but nothing recently.
I mean, Vampire Survivors and BallxPit and Megabonk, those you could definitely bounce between those three pretty easily.
Yeah, but I haven't.
What almost is there a Roller Coaster Tycoon like that you play?
No, I still need to play Parkitect. I want to try Parkitect. I want to try
or Lego Racer.
Parkitect was good.
There was another one that came out around the same time as Parkitect.
Oh,
Planet Coaster.
I feel like
I know what you're talking about. I can't think
Planet
of
Coaster.
Yeah, Planet Coaster.
Planet Coaster, yeah.
I feel like Crusader Kings, Europa Universalis, and Stellaris, like you could bounce between those three pretty easily because they're very similar.
Also for me, Heroes of Might and Magic 2 and Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Shit.
Does that count?
I feel like jerking it and tugging it.
Morrowind and Oblivion, jerking it and tugging it. Hey, I didn't jerk it yesterday. I'm gonna. I tugged it yesterday. I'm gonna jerk it
about
today.
pulling it. It's a yank it Saturday.
Yank it. No, it's yank it yesterday. It's tug it today.
It's yoink it yesterday.
Yoink it yesterday. And touch it tomorrow. Folks, speaking of touching it, my discussion topic for this, man, it's 9:30. Let's get through this. Guys, Game of the Year 2006. 2006, a year that was 5 years after 9/11. And it was 5 years
into George Bush's second term.
George Bush's second term, his third trimester. And Joe Biden's about to come out. And we're so excited.
Oh, boy.
I have one nominee.
Actually, that's not far because he did run in 2008. That's when he said he's articulate. He's clean and articulate. What was it that Biden said that made him drop out of the race immediately in 2008?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I was not paying attention at that point.
I have to look this up.
I was being force-fed Rush Limbaugh.
Or John McCain and his well, he was a weakling anyways, right? That's where we're at with it. I'm just kidding. What did I forget? I'm trying to remember what Trump said about him.
This is what he said. This is what it say. On the day he officially announced his 2008 presidential run, Biden offended African Americans with his much repeated gaffe about Barack Obama. Quote, the first mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean and a nice looking guy.
Oh, no.
He said that when he announced his campaign in 2008.
Uncle Joe.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I had to admit, it was such a wild thing.
Man,
that's
it's
way
never
worse.
been more Jover.
Why? He's one of the good ones. It's
wow. Never been more Jover.
The AutoPen wrote that. The AutoPen wrote it.
Oh my God.
I only have one nominee and one shout out, and that is The Elder Scrolls Oblivion. It is obviously the game of the year of 2006. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Gears of War, eat my dick. That's it.
Oh, Gears of War is another that I stopped after about 10 hours.
Well, that's your. Wait, that game's not even 10 hours long. How did you stop after 10 hours?
It was much longer. It was much sooner than that.
Gears of War 1, as a person who recently replayed the entire game, is very okay. I think 2 and 3 are much better.
Okay.
I'm excited for the new one.
Yeah. No, it's wild you would say that because I don't like the remaster, but I have 14 days of playtime in it.
I know you do because of that amazing glitch.
Because my fucking Jake, I don't know if you heard this, but my Xbox PC program.
Oh yeah, we've talked about it.
It was
got stuck for 14 days.
I googled
I was playing it
because it happened to me, but I figured out how to fix it. But it was the reason after Kyle and I's first Abiotic Factor stream, it ran the whole 40 or 24 hours until the next day, and I noticed it, and I was like, I don't have this. We didn't play that long yesterday.
It didn't feel like it.
Didn't feel like it.
Why is Oblivion so good?
It's the perfect. It's the last good first-person RPG. I mean, maybe other than Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, New Vegas.
But
yeah,
Oblivion's just so good. It's also it's my David's Tales of Vesperia. Which one was the one he said was really good? Symphonia, that's what it was. It's just 2006. It's of course the thing I'm gonna pick. It's the greatest game of all time.
I think you're also forgetting that was on the Xbox 360, and yeah. I don't think this is was this the first Bethesda, I don't know what we call Fallout / Oblivion games on console, because it felt like that crossed over from PC to console audience.
Yes, Morrowind was also on Xbox. That was the first deal game, but I think
it didn't pop.
Yeah, like I think that's still when you would be like, oh, why would you play it on Xbox? Which I did play it on Xbox.
Yeah.
I think with Oblivion, it was a little bit easier to be like, oh, you can play this on like the 360 is one of the ways to go,
Yes. It also, good or bad, it pioneered DLC and microtransactions, with horse armor.
Famous people in it.
We were just talking about how these games, Outer Worlds 2 feels a little bit outdated because it's doing the same thing these games have done. Not to bring that up, but to say if this genre of games had a sweet spot, I think it started with Oblivion and probably ended with New Vegas, or no Skyrim probably. So like this is in that sweet spot. And a big reason why that sweet spot exists is because Oblivion, it felt like Oblivion really expanded the audience for these games from, sick little weirdos to like mainstream.
Yeah. And not to further go back to that, but like, yeah, that genre needs its next Oblivion. Like we're stuck in Morrowind now and we need another, and that's not going to totally change the game. Like you'll still be able to see the through line. But yeah, I think that's the problem.
But that's a good point. It was drastically, not drastically different, but it felt like an evolution from before.
Yeah, it looked gorgeous. It has the infamous, much loved, like NPCs have schedules, they have lives, they do all. It's still like one of the most complicated systems, as far as like NPC behavior.
You can watch on our channel.
It's true. It's just so good. It's just so good. I love it. Jake, you got some nominees and some shout outs?
My shout outs are, of course, Prey 2006, a classic, and then a game that I have not played, which is Flat Out 2, which I am only aware of because my dad was in the commercial for it. So that's what that hyperlink is in the document.
Flat Out, those are fun games.
We'll drop it in the chat.
Games.
Yeah,
but my pick
put it in the show notes.
My pick is Armored Core Wide World.
I thought that was Animal Crossing.
It is Animal Crossing.
It is Animal Crossing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Animal Crossing Wide World.
This is the DS one?
Well, isn't it Wild?
Yes.
You're saying Wild?
Yes.
I thought you said Wide. I'm just making sure you're saying Wild.
Wild World.
Okay.
Is that the title? Am I misremembering it?
Get your mind out of the gutter.
I'm pretty sure it's Wild World.
Are we Mandela affecting ourselves?
Just because it's Tug It Thursday, you don't need to make
it's Morgan Freemaning ourselves.
I think it's Wild.
Wild World. Wild World. Okay, yeah. Wild Animal Crossing.
You could have lied to me.
Wild World. That's my pick. A delightful little iteration on the Animal Crossing formula that I remember fondly.
That's the first English one, right? Or
no?
City Folk. I thought Wild World was the GameCube one.
What do you mean? No, Animal Crossing was just Animal Crossing on the GameCube.
Oh, was it? Why did I think Wild World?
Wild World's on the DS, as is, I think, City Folk.
Yes, you're right. Wild World is on the 3DS. Okay.
And that's the first time that series was portable, and it's been portable since then, right?
Potable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels right.
I don't think they put it on the Wii or the Wii U. I think it was only on portable systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was DS and then 3DS and then Switch.
Yeah, that's my pick. Animal Crossing.
Awesome. A lot of great games. from 2006. Saints Row, got a shout out to that game. Grand Theft Auto super hot at that time, and there wasn't a lot in that space. So for Saints Row to come out and basically be an off-year Grand Theft Auto and pretty fun and do some different stuff was cool. This also felt like a year that milsim shooters broke into the mainstream in a big way with SOCOM and Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter in like an accessible format. That's not the first Ghost Recon game, but the previous ones were pretty intense. Whereas this I don't want to say simplified it, but made it a little bit more accessible for people. And of course, my pick for 2006 Game of the Year, Roblox. Hell of a game. It's more than one game. There's so many games in it. Actually, can we do Roblox as like the worst game of all time?
I did when I was scrolling the list. When I was scrolling the list and I scrolled past Roblox, I'm like, I bet Ian's gonna pick Roblox.
Yeah, Jake, I'm sorry. Could you read the Twitter chat out loud for me, please?
What are you looking at?
The
Twitch chat?
Twitch chat. Sorry, not Twitter.
Twitch.tv/subpixel team.
Where is it?
It's on twitch.tv/subpixel.
There's something special that I would love for you to read out in your special voice.
Yeah.
I don't have it queued up right now.
Twitch.
Give me a second.
It's in the notes document at the top. Twitch.
Give me a second. No, I'm doing it on my phone. I'm doing it on my phone. I have to watch.
I'm not going to apologize for this joke. This joke would have worked if Jake had done it more quickly. He may not see it because it's too late for the chat.
I'm watching it on the ads. I've got ads.
You don't need to see just scroll down the chat.
It says welcome to the chat room. I'm not
Yeah, he missed it. Will, should you read it or should I read it?
From our longtime viewer, Campfire Night, DX 3DS D's nuts.
Thank you. All the great Animal Crossing platforms.
Oh, I do see it.
Yeah. No, my nominee for 2006 Game of the Year is Wii Sports. This is going to be a tough argument, but Oblivion's great, Animal Crossing's great, but the thing about Wii Sports is how much it changed gaming. And how much it was a different gaming experience than anything else out at the time. You had nursing homes playing it. Banger soundtrack. It was a fun game. Like, it's not the best game ever, but yeah, I like playing that tennis. I like playing that bowling.
I'm sure I sunk double-digit numbers into that bowling game.
Oh, easily. Yeah, trying to get it up to 1,000, right? Because I think 1,000 was the max rank that you could get on like your Mii. But just think about all the non-gamers that played this game and got into it. I had a Wii because my parents went to a family reunion in Arkansas and they were staying with family, and that family had a Nintendo Wii with Wii Sports, and they played it and they loved it so much that they came back and they were like, hey, how do we get this game? How do we get this? And literally the day after they got back, they were like, where can we get this? And I was like, I don't know. They're like, can we get it at Target? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, get the car. We're going to Target. And so my parents that barely let me buy video game consoles, and if I was going to buy them, I had to do it with my own money, were just like, we have to go to Target right now and buy a Wii and get Wii Sports and get more controllers so that we can play it. They've never done that before with other games. They've never done it since. And the fact that this like broadened the gaming space so much in such a unique way and gave you these crazy like family living room experiences makes me look at it and say, yeah, we mentioned a lot of great games here, but Wii Sports that feels like a pivotal moment in gaming.
Yeah. No, Ian makes a compelling argument. I gotta give it to Wii Sports.
2 versus 3, I guess. I mean, Wii Sports is, the amount of sport and fun you can have in Oblivion is just like, who needs a Wii? Who needs Wii Sports? Bowling? How about throwing cabbages and wheels of cheese? It's about the fun you find, not the fun you have.
Yeah, because that's the struggle I have here, right? Is we've talked about how this game of the year can mean whatever we want, and therefore it means a lot of different things. It means like, what's the best game to play? Also, in a way, like, what has held up the best? What was the most impactful and pivotal at the moment? And I think if you lined up all those possible meanings of game of the year and you ticked off which one goes to which of these 3 games, the game that takes most of those categories is Oblivion. It's not Wii Sports.
I mean, it's 2 versus 3 though, so we gotta go. I mean, we gotta listen to the. If we weren't a democracy,
I'm saying I nominated Wii Sports, but I'm not voting for it.
Oh, that's crazy. 2 versus 3. Oblivion. We gotta go Wii Sports. That's just crazy.
I mean, if you guys are fine with that, but I
no, we're going.
I would
Oblivion.
go Oblivion.
I thought you were doing a bit.
No, I wasn't.
Fuck you, Jake.
That's kind of the closest contender, but at the end of the day, Oblivion is the better game, and it has the impact, etc.
You just didn't want my category of best game to hold down the trigger, make it vibrate, and hold against your pants.
Jesus,
that's actually Halo 1.
We do need some superlatives though, so I think
mine already. I've got mine locked in.
Campfire Night does say Matt from Wii Sports Boxing entered the Hall of Fame of the toughest final bosses. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, I was never good at Wii Sports Boxing. I think I'm gonna call Wii Sports as the best senior center game.
That's very good. Best the hip breaker, they called it.
Do you remember there were news stories about people being like, people are going to the doctor with sore arms and elbows, and it's because they're playing too much Wii Sports and Wii Tennis?
Yeah, they're getting.
I remember those.
I don't know why Jake reversed.
I got tennis elbow before, but it was for a different kind of Wii.
Touching your Wii? We didn't. And by we, I mean, was I supposed to update the graphic, or are you updating it? Because we didn't update it for.
No, that's me. I completely forgot.
What did we pick last 2 weeks ago? I don't remember.
I can pull it up real quick if you want.
Well, I'll just go through this. Game of the year 2006, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Jake has put best globe Earth propaganda. It's more cylinder Earth propaganda.
Yeah, but look at the key art.
Oh, true.
We're
Animal
teaching
Crossing,
kids
Wild World
about the globe Earth.
Yeah, I do have a copy of that, Jake. I don't know why I was thinking that different. And then Ian put best senior center game, Wii Sports. I agree with that.
Best senior center activity.
Best senior center activity. Yeah, that is good. That does make it sound worse.
Last episode was the year 2000, and we picked The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Oh, yes, that made sense. That did make sense. So we'll add those in. Only a bunch more years to go. I realized I can't randomize it anymore because it sometimes picks the years I've already done. So now I just I do this cool thing where I think of a year and just pick it.
Okay, I like how you came up with you're like, here's my excuse. It's not actually a good excuse. It's like a bullshit problem that I could very easily fix, but I'm not gonna. So
I don't want to have to admit a year every time I type it. I just do it into Google. It's not like I have a system.
Oh my god.
You know what?
Can we leave now?
Yeah, let me. Folks, thanks so much for hanging out.
The trains are calling.
Campfire Night says Wii Sports, breaker of hips, arms, and TVs. Jake Terrio, thanks for being here. Ian Gibson, thanks for being here. We will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern with some more 3D Movie Maker. If you missed Wednesday's episode, we made Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head fuck and then cause 9/11. So be excited about that. And so that'll be that. And then next week, nothing this weekend, but next week we got more fun content coming up. Don't forget, Extra Life is not this weekend, but next weekend. So be sure to tune in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Subpixelfilms.com is where you can find all of our beautiful, beautiful content. Anything coming up or anything? I don't think so.
Book club on Saturday.
Book club on Saturday. Oh, yeah. Bye, everyone. Have a great week.
Bye.